Today we are going to be thinking about the end of the story, The Snail and the Whale. Can you remember how the story ends? So after the whale has been saved, he takes the snail back to the rock and all the snails get on his tail. And it then says, "And they all sang to the sea as they all set sail on the tail of the grey-blue humpback whale." We are going to think about what might happen next after the whale swims off with all the snails on his tail. What do you think might happen? Here are some examples of what might happen. They might go back to the caves and meet the sharks with their hideous toothy grins. They might go and explore the mountains and the golden sands. They might go back to the school to see all the children and thank them for helping to save the whale. Or will the whale take the snails to a new rock where they can live? Will the whale get stranded or stuck somewhere again? Or will he lose any of the snails and have to go and find them? What do you think might happen? Your task for today is going to be to create a story map for what you think happens to all the snails and the whale. Let me show you mine as an example. Now we all know you are all much better artists than Miss Bridge. Here's my example. So in my story, they first go back to the coral caves. Then they meet the sharks with the enormous sharp teeth. Next, they realise that they have lost a snail. So the whale and the rest of the snails look in the deep dark caves, but they can't find the snail. Then they go and ask all the fish if they have seen the lost snail, but they haven't seen it. They begin to think that the sharks might have eaten the snail. So they quickly swim away from the sharks so that no more snails will get eaten. Finally, they spot the lost snail sunbathing on the golden sands of the beach. So your task for today, which you can find in the home learning pack on the school website, is to create your own story map for your own ending to the story. And finally, you have a few challenges. Can you add words with the suffix ed and ing to your story map? Can you add any adjectives to your story map? And can you add any conjunctions, for example, and, or, because, but, when, and if? You can then use your story map to write the ending to the story tomorrow and Friday. Don't forget your beautiful handwriting. You can then show us your story next week in our Zoom sessions.